database management system. Database management system is being divided into 5 modules. In the very first module, we are going to learn about the basics of database, that is their schemas, instances, ER diagrams, etc. And then in the second module, we are going to learn about relational algebraic expressions. And in the third module, we are going to learn about structured query languages with which we manipulate the data. And in the fourth module, we are going to learn about normalization, and with the help of normalization, we are going to improvise the database design. In the fifth module, we are going to discuss about the transactions which is being done on the database and the concurrency control as well as the database recovery in case of failure. Today, we start with our very first module, that is Introduction to the Database Concepts. The list of topics which we are going to discuss today are Introduction to the Database, followed by Characteristics of Database Management System, followed by Actors on the Scene. So, to begin with, we start with the very first topic, that is Introduction. Nowadays, in almost all our day-to-day life activities, we come across database applications, isn't it? Every day when we do banking transaction, when we do something like online purchase, everywhere we come across database applications. Behind all these applications, there exists a concept called database. All these applications are called as traditional database application. Okay? Traditional database application. For example, our banking transaction, online railway ticket booking, that is railway reservation, online air ticket reservation, and many more. In all these types of applications, we are going to handle, or we are going to come across 2 forms of data. Those data will be either in textual format or in numeric format. When data that we are going to have an access to are either in textual or numeric format, and they are particularly formed in a specific format, those are called as structured data. Okay? These are called as structured data because all the data which we come across in these types of applications follows these form of data types, and they are structured. They follow a specific format. Such database which handles structured data can be called as traditional database application. With more and more advancement in technology, nowadays we have several other social media applications come into picture, right? We have Facebook, we have WhatsApp, we have Twitter, many more. And the data which we have in all these applications vary in their forms, isn't it? Are they only textual or in numeric format? No, right? We have video clips, audio clips, images, and many more, right? So, how to handle these kind of data? In order to handle these kind of data, we need to have more efficient databases. So, nowadays we have more efficient databases like NoSQL, big data system, etc. in order to support these kind of data which are not in a particular predefined format. So, we call these kind of data as unstructured data, right? All these data are not adhering to any particular format or structure. So the format of these data are not predefined. They don't stick to any predefined format. So in order to handle all such data, and huge amount of data are populating in because of social media. So in order to handle all these things, we have plenty of new, more efficient database management systems like NoSQL and big data. One of the major database, commercial database which is at present is Amazon.com. You can take it as an example. Okay, Amazon.com. When we talk about Amazon.com, it supports millions and millions of users, right? There are plenty of data available in terms of images, files. We have files, books, CDs, catalogs, whatnot. So we have many things which comes under Amazon, right? All these things are contributing, are roughly around 10 to the power of 16 bytes, that is terabytes, number of terabytes of data every day. So in order to manage all this data, these data are going to be stored in a data servers. Okay, so this is about our database management system, introduction about our database management system. Now we will have a look at the terminologies data, database and DBMS. What actually these terms means. We'll start with the very first term, that is data, which we have here. What do we mean by data? Data is nothing but known facts. It represents known facts or information which exists in the real world with an implicit meaning. So what do we mean by data? Data is nothing but known fact or an information which exists in the real world with an implicit meaning. What is the example for this data? Your name, a name of a person. It is a data. It represents the name or identification that is given to that person, right? Address. Similarly, phone number, etc. Isn't it? This represents data. Then what do we mean by database? Database is nothing but a place where we store all these data. More technically, we can call database as a collection of interrelated data. Right? Database is nothing but the collection of interrelated data. Right? For example, if you are representing the data of a particular student, then it can be a student database. If we are going to store information about a university, then it can be a university database. If you are going to store information about some company, then that becomes a company database, and so on. So this is about database. Now we know what is data and what is database. Then what do we mean by database management system? What do we mean by this? Database management system is nothing but a software or set of programs which are used to handle these data which are present in database. Okay, the general definition of database management system can be a set of programs which are used to manage the data that is stored under database. More specifically, or more technically, we can call database management system as a set of programs which are used to define, create, manipulate and share the database with many users. Okay, I repeat, DBMS can be called as a set of programs, or it is a general purpose software which is used to define, create, manipulate and share the data with different users. Now we'll have a look at each of these terms. What do we mean by define a database? When we say that we are going to define a database, it's nothing but we are going to specify the data type of the data which we are going to store, and then size of the data, right? And if there is any constraint that need to be specified on this data, all those things will be defined. Once it is defined, the data which is already defined need to be stored, right? That is done using create operations, right? When I say create, it means that we are going to store the defined data inside the database, right? After storing, we need to manipulate. If we need to update the data, or if we need to insert some new data to a database, or if we want to delete, or if we want to do any modifications, then we need to go for manipulation queries, right? So that constitutes manipulate. Next term is share. Once we are done with all these things, the database need to be shared in order to make use of it by many application programmers in order to get what information they want from the database, right? So that is going to be shared with multiple users. So altogether, to conclude, database management system is a software or set of programs which are used to define a database, to create the defined database, and then to manipulate the data which is present in the database and share the data with multiple users and application programmers, right? So this is about the introductory part of database. Now next we move on to the characteristics of database. That is our second topic for today. Our second topic is characteristics of database. How database management system proves its efficiency over our traditional file processing system. Our traditional approach of storing data is file processing system, right? Earlier we used to store everything in terms of file. The main difference or the main problem in file processing system was data redundancy. Okay, the same data might be stored by more than one group of users in a file processing system. That led to data redundancy problem. But in case of database management system, once the data is stored in a single repository, that can be made available to many users or multiple users to have an access to the same central repository. Thereby data redundancy is totally avoided in case of database management system. So this is the main advantage of having database management system over traditional file processing system. We list four implicit properties or characteristics, four implicit characteristics of database management system compared to traditional file processing system. The very first characteristic is self-describing nature of database management system. What do we mean by self-describing nature of database management system? As the name itself suggests, here the description of data which we are going to store in our database is stored as a catalog in our database management system. Okay, what is the description that we are going to store? We are going to store about the data types that of each data which we are going to store, and then the size of each data and number of constraints that are imposed on this data. Okay, all these details will be stored as a catalog in a database. Okay, this catalog is called as metadata. Okay, we call this catalog as metadata. Since we have a facility of storing the description of data as a catalog, which we term it as metadata in our database, we can support multiple databases. Here, at a time, a system can support multiple databases. For example, a university database, a company database, and many more. Several databases are created, and the description about all the data which comes under database management system are listed as metadata. So, we can allow application programmers, multiple application programmers or multiple users to have an access to different database systems at a time, which is not possible in case of traditional file processing system. Because in file processing system, everything, that is every description about the data is in file, is done within a file. So, at a time, only one database, only a single database is being provided with a service. Okay, a service can be provided to a single database in case of traditional system, whereas with the help of database management system, we are able to provide service to many databases at a time simultaneously with the help of metadata. Metadata is nothing but a catalog where we are going to store the description about the data in which we are dealing with. Okay, this is about the first characteristics, implicit characteristics of database. Next, we will move on to the second characteristics, that is insulation between program and data abstraction. Separation. Okay, under this we have two things to discuss. One is program data independence, and one more is program operation independence. So, what do we mean by program data independence? We have a data stored in the database, right? We have many programs working on these data, or the programs which are having an access to these data. In case of traditional file system, how was it handled? If there is any modifications need to be done in the programs which are having an access to the data, then all the related files which stores the details about the data need to be modified. Here, in case of database management system, we need not worry about the modification of the data. Irrespective of that, we can make any changes that we want to do on program, right? So, that constitutes program data independence. Similarly, if you want to do any modification on operations that is being performed on the data, then you can do it without much worry about the data which is stored in the database. That constitutes the program operation independence. Program data independence and program operation independence together constitutes data abstraction. Okay, this is about the second point of our properties or characteristics of database management system. The third implicit characteristic of database management system is support of multiple views. Okay, third characteristic is support of multiple views. As we all know, database management system will have several categories of users, right? Everyone will not be interested in same perspective of the data. Data that is stored might be same, but the perspective or the view or the interest of the user who is having an access to these data will be different. So, our database management system will support multiple views to multiple users depending on their interest, right? That is the third characteristics. And fourth and last characteristics is sharing of database and transaction processing, handling transaction processing. Sharing of database for multiple users simultaneously. That is, at the same time, same data can be allowed to have an access, right? Same data can be accessed by multiple user is supported. That property is or that facility is supported by database management system, right? And when we allow multiple users to have an access to the same data, we need to give importance to transactions. There should not be any problem with the transaction, right? So that transaction processing will be handled with the help of concurrency control mechanism. Concurrency control mechanism. So these are the four characteristics of the database which are implicit to our database management system, and these constitutes the factors with which we can say that database management system is more efficient approach when it is compared with the traditional file processing system, right? This finishes our second topic of the day, that is characteristics of DBMS. Now we'll move on to the third topic. The third topic is actors on the scene. What do you mean by this? It's nothing but the categories of users that we have in database management system. Since we have already discussed that we have multiple users who are going to have an access to the database with different perspective, these are the categories which we are going to look at. Okay, the very first category of user is database administrator. Okay, the very first category of user is database administrator. He is the one who is responsible for managing the entire database. He is going to handle the entire database related issues, like if there are any failures, okay, and he provides us the authorization rights to have an access, right? He provides an authorization right for us to have an access to the database. If there is any failure in the database, then that need to be taken care by database administrator. Along with that, he need to look after other things such as providing proper transaction rights, all those things. Okay. Next comes the second set of users, that is database designers. Okay. What do we mean by database designers? database designers belong to the next category of users. These set of users, they collect the requirements from end users, requirements of end users, like what all things that they are interested in, what all data that need to be captured and in which format, and what should be the size of all those data. Everything will be collected by database designers by different end users, and then he designs our database. What will he do? He designs the database according to the requirements of the end users. Okay, what they do, database designers are the one who are going to collect the requirements of all the prospective end users and convert those requirements into a database design which meets these requirements. Okay, that is the second category of users. Next comes the third category, that is database analysts and application programmers. Okay, database analysts, they analyze the requirement and they make implications as how database should be. Okay, they analyze the requirement and they specify the implications as how database should be. These implications will be implemented by application programmers by developing programs and establishing a connection to the database. Okay, the third set of users is database analysts and application programmers who are going to make use of database. Now we come up with last set of users. They are end users, and these are the main customers for our database, right? In end users, we have 4 categories of users. The very first is casual, and then second category is parametric. Third set of user is sophisticated. Last but not the least, it is standalone user. So the last category, that is end users, has been further classified into 4 categories, that is casual users, parametric users, sophisticated users and standalone users. What do we mean by these? We'll have a look one by one. Casual user is nothing but users who are going to have an access to the database once in a while and they are interested with a specific set of data. Okay, nothing much. Next comes the parametric user. We also call these fellows as naive users. Okay, these category of users will have an access to the database, same set of data, multiple times. For example, an agent who's booking railway tickets. Okay, an agent who's booking railway ticket will have a look at same set of data, right? He will repeatedly have a look at same set of data, that is the details of railway reservation, many times. Those can be categorized as parametric or naive users. Next comes the third category, that is sophisticated users. Under sophisticated users, all these engineers, okay, designers, doctors, all these professionals come into picture who are going to make use of database in order to develop their application according to their requirement. Okay, those are sophisticated users. Finally, we have standalone users who uses standalone application or independent application that is being installed in their system and it is restricted to their system. For example, having financial software implemented or installed in their system and making use of that. Those comes under the fourth category, that is standalone category. So to conclude, we have four major categories of actors on the scene. The first one is database administrator, who is going to handle the entire database related issues like failures, authorization right granting, etc. Then comes database designers, who are going to design the database for us according to the requirement. Then comes database analysts, who analyze the database and provides us the implication, right? And then application programmers converts these implications into the programs with which we can have an access to the data. Then comes the last category of users, that is end users. And again, these end users are further classified into four types, that is casual, parametric or naive, sophisticated and standalone users. Casual users are nothing but once in a time user, they access data very rarely, and parametric users are the one who are going to have an access to the same set of data repeated times. Third category is sophisticated users, who are going to make use of the database to develop their own applications, right, in order to fulfill their requirement. The last category is standalone users, who are going to have an independent standalone software installed in their system and having an access to those things. Okay, so this is about the actors on the scene.